I'm Debbie Hartner.
I'm Elsie Johnson.
We are two sisters, Southern cooking.
We are making a Caribbean rum cake. The Caribbean part of it comes in from having pineapple juice in it. So, and you can do plain rum, you can do a spiced rum, you can probably even do a coconut rum, which is good, but I just have a gold rum that I have here, that a Bacardi gold rum, which
is for cooking.
That's all I ever use it for, is just to bake with or whatever. So that's what I have. That's what we're going to use.
Right.
So this is a really, I don't even know how to explain this. How would you say it's reversed?
Kind of. So we're creaming it with the butter and with the oil, but we are putting our dry ingredients in, and then we're adding
everything. It'll come to like a sandy mixture before you start putting your eggs and milk and the liquids in.
Right, and you always put your vanilla in at last and your alcohol. But yeah, it's kind of reversed, because you're going to put your milk in before you put your eggs in. Because once you put the eggs in, you're kind of like sealing the deal, because you can't whip anymore, you know, because otherwise you'll make your cake really dense and tough. So,
okay.
All right, so we'll get started.
I'm going to put in my flour, just all-purpose flour.
Put in the salt.
Okay.
And sugar.
And that salt was baking powder and salt.
Okay.
And then we have vanilla pudding. Vanilla pudding is always really, really cool secret ingredient to use in your cakes, because it just gives it a lot of moisture. So, and you don't have to, this is a name brand vanilla pudding I had. I just happen to have it, but you don't have to do name brand on the puddings when you're doing this. Not normally.
Yeah, we never do.
So, I'm going to put in, this is a half a cup of butter softened, and
I'm going to put in the oil. And we're going to start this off at slow, because otherwise,
yeah, you got a lot of flour and stuff in there right now.
You'll have a flour shower.
That looks good.
It looks delicious.
Alright. Here's our golden rum. It looks nice and pretty. The color does. It looks amber looking.
But smells like rum and Coke.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't smell. To me, it don't smell good. But I'm not a drinker, so.
Me neither.
But I know this cake is delicious. This is a good rum cake is really, really good.
This is kind of like an idea where we both came together and said, let's try a rum cake. And it was kind of like one of those epiphany moments.
Yeah.
We kind of like looked at each other like, wow, that's pretty interesting.
And our glaze that's going on top is going to have a little bit of rum in it and some
but it's going to be
pineapple juice. But you cook the glaze for 8 to 10 minutes at a rapid boil. So your
cooks off the alcohol.
Cooks off. So I know my mother-in-law loves rum cake, and she's made it for years, and she always takes just regular rum and soaks into her cake. And you actually get the full effect of rum because it's not cooked off.
But you won't get drunk on it. What you have
not the way we're doing it. But you probably can get a little bit of a buzz off of the way my mother-in-law does it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to put this here, and we have a unique pan that I brought from home. Mom got this for me for, like, gosh.
Couple Christmas, 2-3 Christmas.
Yeah, pretty interesting. And it's going to make the cake look so pretty. And then we're going to pour our glaze over top of it after we put the little skewers in it after it finishes baking. Because we're going to do this right away, and then we're going to let it sit in the pan for several hours, and then we'll turn it upside down. Now, ideally, this cake will be best for 24 hours to consume after.
Right.
But we don't have that kind of luxury.
So we're going to have about 6 hours.
Yeah.
Well,
Not
5
even-
hours.
yeah,
5
yeah.
hours of soaking time. But it's definitely better to let it soak overnight.
Yeah.
If you have the time.
Yes.
So this is definitely a recipe that you really would be beneficial to make it the day ahead.
Right. It's always better the second day.
Mm-hmm.
And depending upon the type of rum you're using as well, can make it a Caribbean rum. Especially if it has any kind of like coconut in it or whatever, coconut flavorings or whatever. But we don't have that. We have the gold rum. But what's going to make it unique for us is because we are putting pineapple juice in with our rum, and we're going to mix it together and heat it up, and that's going to make it very unique.
That'll give it the good Caribbean flavor profile.
Now when this rises, it'll come all the way up to the top. It is such a cool looking, and when we flip it over and we invert it, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. All right guys, we're going to go ahead and get this in the oven at 350 for 50 to 60 minutes, and it's going to be delicious. We're going to get it out of the oven. It's going to be so good, y'all. It's Debbie. So we are doing a modified alcohol glaze that's going to go on top of our rum cake. So we're going to cook everything here, and we're going to bring it to a rapid boil, and then we're going to let it simmer for 5 to 8 minutes. So it's going to be probably about 5 to 10 minutes before it gets to a boil. So we're going to put everything in except for the vanilla. So I'm going to go ahead, put in my salt and my sugar, my water, and we have 1/8 of a cup of golden rum, and we have the rest of it. It's going to be a half a cup total. So the other is 6 tablespoons of pineapple juice. Now we are cooking off the alcohol, so there's not going to be any alcohol in this at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and break my butter so it'll make it easier for melting. And I'm just going to go ahead and get this all combined and mixed together. And then we're going to bring it to a rapid boil, and then after that we let it simmer for 5 to 8 minutes. And I'm just going to go ahead and mix all this together here. Now, our mother would have a heart attack if she knew that we had rum in here, because our mother would never drink. So, and Elsie and I don't drink either, so it's just, you know, one of those things, just a respect thing for our mom. We were raised in a Christian home, and we didn't drink, so we don't want to offend her in any kind of way. So we wanted to make sure that all the alcohol was baked out and cooked out of the recipe, so she feels comfortable eating it. So we have this currently at the maximum for the temperature. I'm going to go ahead and let this melt and continue to stir it occasionally, and then once it comes to a rapid boil, like I said, I'll cut the heat back, and then I'll let it simmer. We'll cut it back like halfway, and then we'll let it simmer for 5 to 8 minutes, and then we're going to remove it from the heat. And in the meantime, Elsie's going to come in and poke holes into our rum cake, and we're going to pour this glaze over top of it, and then we're going to allow it to sit as long as possible, and then we're going to invert the cake and get ready to serve it. So it's going to be good, y'all. So we'll be right back. Hey y'all, it's Debbie. So we are at a rapid boil right now. As you see, it's starting to rise. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut my heat back for about halfway, And we're going to set a timer on this about 5-8 minutes and let it simmer. And then we're going to just keep a close eye on it and make sure it doesn't boil over. I'm actually not going to stir this at all because it does have to reach a certain temperature to cook off the alcohol and everything, so we don't want it to see how it's starting to settle down now that I've cut the heat back. So we're just going to leave this go. And in the meantime, Elsie's going to come in and she's going to poke the skewer holes into the cake. Look at the cake, isn't it beautiful? Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And it's very hot.
All right,
and she is coming. All right. So
I'm going to use my little cake tester to use to poke it. So I'm just going to poke a ton of little holes.
I'm going to just put this back a little bit more.
This cake smells really, really good.
It does. It's so pretty. This pan makes the most beautiful cakes. I have to tell you, it's like a little bit of artwork. I made a pound cake for a customer the other day and I used this pan and she was like so enthralled with the fact that it looks so unique because it almost looks like it's like a spinning device.
Right.
And it's pretty cool when you invert it over because it looks so unique. And it just turned out so pretty. It is a pain in the hind end though, to
get out
clean.
Oh yeah,
afterwards.
I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the rear.
You're not going to see all those holes in it because we're going to flip it over, so you're not going to see none of that.
So it's just going to soak up our syrup.
Yeah. Okay. I think I got enough holes in there to saturate it really well.
I do too. And see how it's already separating away from the wall of the pan? That means it's perfectly cooked and ready to be extracted from there.
Yep.
But we're not going to do that yet because we're going to wait until this has a chance to just saturate it.
Once you get that syrup on it, then you're going to put some saran wrap over top to hold it in, hold the flavor and everything in it.
Beautiful. It's going to be so good, y'all. And the smell, the aroma smell from this is just amazing. It smells like vanilla, like a vanilla cake. It's very pure. It smells so good. And this here, irregardless if you're almost like running over with your syrup, you're going to pour every last drop into this cake because you want it to be perfect. So even if it starts to fill up, you just wait for it to absorb into the cake and then you continue to pour. We'll be right back, guys. All right, y'all, I just turned off the heat. It has been about 8 minutes and I'm going to go ahead and add the vanilla in. Wow, that was so cool. I turned the color like automatically a golden color. All right, so I'm going to set this aside and we're going to start pouring over top of our cake. And like I said, if it fills up really quickly and you don't have, and it starts to overflow, just wait for it to absorb and then go back and start filling again. But you need to use every bit of this liquid. Oh, that's going to be so good. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and let it absorb and just get all nice and yummy. And we're going to invert it probably just before dinner. So I'm gonna let this alone, leave it alone, just kind of set it off to itself and just let it marinate. And it's gonna be so good. Look at it, it's beautiful. Oh my God, we're excited. All right, this is the non-alcoholic glaze version. So in case you don't want to put alcohol in yours, you can put the whole full strength, alcohol in it if you want to. But because we're going to be serving this to Mom, we wanted to respect her.
Right,
So.
and you also could not even boil the glaze. You could just mix it together and pour it over and let it be, and then you have the full effect of alcohol if you want.
Most of the time what you do with the glaze is you put your butter, your sugar, and your other ingredients in, and then once you remove it from the stovetop, you add your alcohol and you add your vanilla. And that's usually the way the recipe goes, but this one here, we wanted to make sure we cooked it off. So this is a awesome recipe. We can't wait for you guys to see this. It's going to be so delicious, y'all. So we will see you guys in our next video.
Okay, I am flipping it over and I am lifting it off, and hopefully it comes off in one piece, and it did. It looked beautiful. Let's see if I can.
That always looks so pretty.
It does. It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. It's
All
gorgeous.
right.
It smells so yummy, guys. All right, guys, we will see you in our next video. I'm Elsie.
And I'm Debbie. We're two sisters Southern cooking.
And we thank you for visiting our page. Please like, share, and subscribe.